Aptos High School. Welcome to the Comcast Game of the Week, our season opener for the baseball season. Joel Domhoff alongside Kurt Edwards. It'll be the Watsonville Wildcats and the Aptos Mariners in our season opener, Kurt. These two teams met just on Tuesday. It's a new format for the league, and we'll talk about that more as the day progresses. But they met on Tuesday, close game. We expect the same here.
Well, anytime these two ball clubs get together, Joe, it's going to be a close game. They've been going at it since 1968, which doesn't sound like a long time, but rivalries, it's been a while.
Well, we're ready to go, as you can see, folks. For the Wildcats, it'll be Matt Gomez, their center fielder, leading off. Aptos pitcher is Tommy Strickland, just a freshman, so the future is bright, they're hoping here for the Aptos baseball team.
Well, when you've got a freshman on the hill that can throw strikes, and Strickland's able to do that one, you bet that the season looks very bright. The future even brighter.
Strickland delivers to his battery mate Garrett Latore. That's low. We're evened up at 1-1. We'll set the lineups here for you for Aptos defensively. They've got Cliff Nelson in left field, Sean Weaver in center, Drake Jones in right. We'll set the infield in a moment. Off-speed pitch is low and away. 2-1 the count now to Gomez. On the infield, it's Chris Thomas at third base, Jay Ramsey, the shortstop, Andrew Ortega at second, and Michael Keenan at first. And as I told you, Latore behind the plate, Strickland, the freshman, ready to deliver a 2-1 pitch to Gomez. High, 3-1.
Well, one thing Gomez is doing by working the count 3-1, he's worked himself into a great hitter's pitch, Joel. He's got to be sitting dead red right down the middle. It better be able to split the inside portion of that black on the plate. Belt high. Otherwise, let it go, because you got one more party strike.
3-1 pitch right down Broadway. Makes the count 3-2. And as we said, Kurt, Strickland just a freshman on the mound, so obviously Watsonville wants to A, get a look at him, and B, make him prove that he can in fact produce at this level.
Hey, that's right. You know, the more pitches you can get a pitcher to throw early, the better.
Full count pitch right down the middle, and Gomez slaps it into right field for a base hit. So leadoff hitter doing his job, getting on base for his manager, James Gomez. That'll bring up Anthony Valdivia, left fielder for James Gomez. James assisted by Phil Gomez, no relation, and Carlos Rodriguez. Watsonville coming off a 10-9 victory Tuesday. Thriller, really. Came down to the last inning. They had to escape a base-loaded game.
They did that one, and it was a case of giveaway. Both clubs are trying to give that ball game away.
Curve ball into center field. That'll be a base hit. Gomez will wind. He'll test the arm of Weaver. No play at third, so runners at the corners for Watsonville. Nice start for the Wildcats.
Real good start. Nice bit of hitting by Valdivia. I'll tell you, this is what you want to see young hitters do at the high school level, is put the ball in play. Don't try and do anything more with the pitch than what the pitcher's going to give you. You do that one, I guarantee you, you'll have a great batting average and a very successful high school career. So you try and overpower a pitch that you get yourself in trouble.
That'll bring up the pitcher, Josh Camacho, hitting third for James Gomez here today. And they've got him picked off at first. Valdivia will try and stay in a rundown. He draws the throw. Now, man breaks to the plate. That's Gomez. He's safe. Throw gets away from Latore. Gomez is hurt. And they're going to call him safe. They say he hit the plate in a nasty collision with Garrett Latore.
Very nasty collision. I'm not certain. It looks more like he just got the wind knocked right out of him. And it's just one of those situations. The ball coming into Garrett Latore, as he moves to catch the ball. In high school ball, you are supposed to slide, but if the catcher comes up the line, you don't have that opportunity. So right now we're just waiting for young Mr. Gomez to get his wits back about him. But that play was, I'm not certain that it was the exact, first and third delayed double steal that we work on since the February 1st, or whether that was just one of those fortunate type things that happened in the face of baseball.
I would guess the latter based on what I saw. It looked like Valdivia was a bit surprised at the move by Strickland. And unfortunately for Aptos, they were able to escape it there, but it didn't look like one of those planned scenarios to me.
Now, it looked like there was something else involved. Looks like we're starting to get some of that central coast rain is, one of the telltale signs is the umbrellas are starting to come up. That's usually a good giveaway.
Well, the weather forecast had called for rain for most of last night, and then it was supposed to break today and then pick up again, but we'll just hope this is a quick passing shower, although, as you see there, Gomez up under his own power.
No RBI on that one, but it's going to take a minute for Gomez to get his wits back about him. A play like that, if I've got the out, it's early in the ball game, and I hate to give runs away, and you know that better than anybody else. You've got to give me out at second base in Valdivia. Tag him, allow the run to come home, because you haven't gotten your first licks in. It's only the first inning.
Exactly. And it's tough to ask the kid, the shortstop, to make a throw home first inning.
Long
Got a great jump, long distance. It was tough there, but Watsonville will take it. Valdivia at second. Camacho at the plate. Still no count, as you'll recall. It was before Strickland could deliver one pitch. He got the pickoff. So
Sneaky left-handers.
duck on the pond for Camacho as Strickland hits the outside corner to get ahead. Well, we'll hope this rain holds off, Kurt.
I hope
like
so,
to see our game. It's our season opener here on the beginning of the week.
Beautiful field here at Aptos High School, and they've done a lot to the field. Of course, they've done a lot since I walked away from it about 84, 85, and just since you were playing in the Under the Hill gang, the 30 and over league. Over the Hills 40, that's where I am. They've got the nice look. You can see the dirt path going from the mound all the way towards the catchers, reminiscent of old-time baseball. And of course, Bank One Ballpark down there in Phoenix has that look too. Frankly, I like the look. I think it looks real nice.
I agree with you, although my jury's still out on the grass base paths that they've got here between first and third. But as you said, it's all new, totally resawed it. Coach Bill Ingram was telling me about it before the game. The dirt is also new as well. He said it's a much softer dirt, which obviously, if you played on this infield before, you really appreciate, because it used to be like sliding on concrete.
It was country. What are you talking about? Class 2 road base. That may not be that bad, but it was a gray dirt. You put enough water on it, mixed it well, tamped it. It was an Astro dirt. It hurt. It came up with more road rash.
Lost a lot of skin on these base paths over the years. Well, the count's run to 2-2 here, so Strickland trying to get the strikeout of Camacho, which of course would be ideal with the man on second, nobody out. Just underway, tried to paint the black just a bit outside, so the count will be full. Watsonville off to an early lead here. They've scored already, just the top of the first.
You know, if I'm Strickland, Joe, looking at Camacho, and I don't know how quick Camacho's bat is, I would try and come inside, a little bit more inside than you want to.
The pitch outside, comebacker, Strickland knocks it down. He'll throw to Keenan. Man goes to third, though. He'll stay there, so a nice piece of base running by Valdivia to get to third on the out by Camacho.
Great piece of base running by Valdivia. He made sure that Strickland did make the throw over to first base. As soon as he saw the ball release from Strickland's hand, he was on his way towards third base. Strickland might have been able to take a little bit longer and hold Valdivia or bluff him back towards second base, which I would have encouraged him to do with my very quiet little coaching voice.
Man on third, one out for Joel Hawley, the cleanup hitter who takes the strike. Hawley is the man that Coach James Gomez wants up in this situation. He's the Wildcats' leading hitter here early in the season with a .458 average, 8 RBIs, 4 doubles amongst his 11 hits. There's a nice curveball by Strickland. He gets ahead 0-2, but Hawley's had a hot start here clearly early.
Oh, he has that one. And these guys are out swinging the bats, and it's great with all of the pitching machines that they've got. Watsonville has a very nice facility that they can work out of.
0-2 curveball. He just got a piece of it. Latorre unable to hang on, so it'll stay 0-2.
That nice, big, sweet bender from the right-hander. You watch Holly, that thing starts to break a little bit behind that front shoulder of Holly. Holly gets that little bit of a jelly leg. Doesn't necessarily trust that ball's going to break that much.
Strickland delivers. Ball gets away from Latorre. Here comes Valdivia. He'll slide in without a play, so Anthony Valdivia doing a great piece of base running to get to third on the comebacker and then to score on the, we'll see what our unofficial score, Kurt Edwards calls that, pass ball. So pass ball scores Valdivia, 2 runs on the board for Watsonville. Now Hawley will try and start another rally here, just 1 out. Hawley 2 hits, 3 RBIs, Tuesday's win over Aptos. So told you he's hot, he proved it on Tuesday. 1-2 pitch from Strickland. Fastball low and away, evens it up 2-2.
Now, one thing Strickland cannot go away from is the ball down, but he has to set the pitch up and in. And freshmen, I don't care if you're a freshman in college or you're a freshman in high school, inside is a tough place to go because if you miss out over the center of the plate, you get pummeled.
Curveball, he swung on and missed. So that's out number 2. Nice change of speed by Strickland, getting Hawley out front. So our boys, the Wildcats' hottest hitter there, and now it'll be Bobby George to step up, second baseman, with 2 outs in the first.
Now, one thing about Watsonville, they've got a good set 3, 4, and 5 as far as the hitters are concerned. They can get the table set for them, which Gomez and Valdivia did. They've got Camacho and Hawley and George doing their good hitters.
That fastball just missed the black. Strickland has impressed me early here. He had gotten a bit of a jam, but he's really deserved better as far as he had a comebacker, which advanced the guy, he picked the guy off, and his defense hasn't really given him the support I'm sure he would obviously like, but as far as his stuff, he's impressed me.
He looks good. He's very composed out there, and for a young pitcher, when your defense falls apart on you, sometimes you can lose it in the mental department, but Strickland's kept it together.
High fastball got into the kitchen of Bobby George there, who could only fist it off down the line. So Strickland gets ahead here, 1-2. Just underway, and the rain that threatened just moments ago has disappeared. So we'll continue to do our rain dances here.
I've got my sunshine dance, but it may fall on that one, but I'll still lose the no rain dance.
High curve, just missed. Tori tried to sell that pitch to the umpire, but it was clearly a ball. So count evened up, 2-2, 2 outs, top of the first, 2-0 Watsonville.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent sell, but that curveball just hung up there. Bill Bunter, the home plate umpire, good umpire. You're not going to sell him very easily.
Set up the inside fastball. It's a nibbler down the line, but Strickland's over there to pick it up and make the tag himself. So gets out of the jam, but not before Watsonville scores 2 in the top of the first, half inning in the books, 2-0 Wildcats. Cheapskate Hill, as my partner Kurt Edwards likes to call that place up there. Gentlemen up there enjoying a free look at this SCCAL baseball game. Leading off for Aptos in the bottom of the first, the pitcher Tommy Strickland takes a strike from the Wildcat pitcher, that's Josh Camacho, junior left-hander, described by his coach James Gomez as his #1 guy. So Watsonville got the win Tuesday, and now they've got their #1 guy on the mound here, and he's got a 2-0 lead. And Kurt Edwards, we talked about this format briefly at the top of the broadcast, but what it is essentially, instead of playing 18 league games over a longer course of time, it's been shortened to 12, and you play the other teams league immediately, back-to-back home and home series. So the way I was told by James Gomez, what it really affects is you don't get your #3 starters, you get your #1 and 2, which makes it tough on a squad like his, because he said, we could have some success getting the #3 guys, but when you're always facing 1 and 2, it's a bit tougher. What are your thoughts on the format?
I'm an old school coach, and I like the 18-game format. I think it lends more to the teams. Hot team, in a short season, especially when you're playing back-to-back, you can catch 2 hot pitchers early. Later down the road, they may not be that way. And I agree with James as far as that #3 pitcher coming into play, where you have to see that third pitcher.
Strickland right up the box. Bobby George is over there, but he can't make the play. So Tommy Strickland leads off, helping his own cause with a single up the middle. And that'll bring up Jay Ramsey.
great way to start. Leadoff hitter, base hit. Now you got a left-hand hitter up with a big hole over there. We'll see what Ramsey's going to be able to do. Ramsey's got some pop in his back, Joe. He can hit the ball. He's 5'29". You can add all my years up, and I don't have
3 home runs. 3 of his 9 hits have left the yard.
Sweet. We're just talking about early on. Aptos has only played 6 games. This is their 7th contest.
Well, as you know, it's a short porch pretty much everywhere here in Mariner Field, but especially down the right field line. Us lefties like that.
Got to turn to hit it.
Of course, the danger, which you hear the Giants talk about a lot with Paxell, is you see that so close down the line, you start to think, I got to pull it, and that, of course, does more harm than good.
Exactly, and young hitters get into that trap. You play here enough, or play baseball enough, you realize just do what you can with the pitch thrown to you.
Camacho delivers high. He's falling behind 3-0 here, so lefty versus lefty. Sometimes it's tough for the hitter in this situation to hit a lefty, but it's also, I can speak from experience, sometimes tough to pitch to a lefty. You feel like you might hit him, it's just tough to establish a strike. There you see it, ball 4 for Jamie Ramsey.
Yeah, that is very true in some left-handed pitchers' mind, that you're afraid you're going to hit him. Then you run into a left-handed pitcher like me who flat didn't care. If I hit you, okay, fine. Then I'll either get you and I'll either pick you off or I'll get you done in that double play. And I really, as a pitcher, I love throwing against lefties because I had a fastball that could back in on them and a nice hook that would go away. So they hated me.
Number 3 is the number 3 hitter for Aptos, catcher Garrett Latore. Comes in hitting .389, and he's got 2 homers on this young season. So, just as we told you, it's a short porch and right, equally short and left. So, could be one swing from a 3-2 game. He just got under that one, though. Can someone catch it? The shortstop goes out, and he drops it. That was Joel Hawley. Play at third. Safe is Tommy Strickland. So, Latore's high pop fell into a bit of a Bermuda Triangle there between center fielder Matt Gomez, the left fielder Anthony Valdivia, and the shortstop Joel Hawley. Hawley, the one who got a glove on it, but he couldn't control.
He couldn't get it. He went out a long ways to get it. That's actually Valdivia's ball, and he's the one that has to take control of it. He's got to be yelling and running his shortstop off. And I'll grant you, he's probably playing a little deeper than
Jones hits one deep to left field, but he didn't get all of it. Left fielder Valdivia is there. It'll be a sacrifice fly. Jones came in with 2 homers on the year. And the way it looked like it could be, but we both heard the way it sounded and knew it wasn't going to go.
It was not going any place. He hit it well, but it's heavy air out here. You got these clouds over. It's not a hot, warm day, and you're sitting in this canyon. You have to crush the ball on days like this to get it out of this yard.
So Strickland scores on the sacrifice fly by Jones. That brings up Chris Thompson, the third baseman. Takes the ball. No, the late strike call. So Camacho getting ahead here, trying to work out of a jam. He's got a 2-1 lead now. Men on first and second with 1 out. Aptos coached by Tom Graham, his first year. The Mariner skipper. He's got Phil Ingram over there helping him, along with Nick Deneen, the pitching coach. Is that right? Notes are telling me that.
Nick was a pitcher here a couple years back under Paul Ramos, who was a catcher here my last year. I think Paul was on the JV team at that time.
Fastball fisted to second. They're going to give him a catch and a double play. Nice job by Bobby George to get the Wildcats out of a jam. He caught it. Looked like it could have been a short hop, but he beat Ramsey to the bag. So an unassisted double play for George. Wildcats get out of it. 1 inning gone by. It's 2-1 Watsonville. From Cheapskate Hill to the luxury suites here at Mariner Field at Aptos. Top of the second upcoming here. Joel Domhoff, Kurt Edwards. Leading off for Watsonville, it's their catcher, Dustin Mora. Tommy Strickland working his 2nd inning for the Mariners. And there's a swing and a miss as Mora struck out. So nice pitch by Strickland. Get the first out of the second.
And that's always the the most important guy to get out. Not in the second inning, just the first guy in any inning. Get the leadoff hitter. Solves a lot of your problems. Cuts down on the blood pressure immensely too.
Immensely. So get the leading lady, as we always used to say. There's a fastball that catches the corner. Matt Hargis, the batter, the third baseman for James Gomez. Hargis comes in hitting .222. 6 hits, but 3 have gone for doubles, so showing a bit of pop here early.
Hargis can hit the ball, and that was a nice job by Latorre to get out there and knock the ball down. And I'd like to see catchers continue to work on their skills, even though really didn't have to block that pitch.
There's a fastball, chest high, and it's skied straight up. Someone's got to call it, and it's the third baseman, Chris Thompson, who came in to make the catch. So 2 up, 2 down for Strickland and the Mariners. That'll bring up Matt Smith, the first baseman.
Now this is a Strickland that I talked to Coach Graham about earlier, and he says hasn't walked anybody, 12 strikeouts, always around the plate. A cold day, might have had a tough time getting loose, unleashing the fastball. Sometimes it just takes that while to get in a good little groove.
Smith took ball 1 high, as you saw there, just a sophomore. Young team, this Watsonville squad. He takes ball 2. A lot of sophomores and juniors sprinkled in this roster and in this lineup. Smith is one of them. 2-0 pitch from Strickland. Swung through ball 3.
There's a nice
strike 1.
There's a nice thank you. And I'll tell you, Strickland's going to send Smith a Christmas card after that one. You always like to have an early Christmas present, and there was one.
You know how tough, though, Kurt, it is to lay off those fastballs and come right at you. They look like
they're coming up. Yeah, they are. You're right. And
piece of steak on the table.
They're coming up to home plate, and they're getting bigger, 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 and all of a sudden you realize it's not the pitch I want to hit. You can't stop that bat.
2-2 pitch. Low, ball 3. So Smith works it to a full count. The number 8 hitter. Watsonville sent 5 men to the plate in the first inning to score 2 runs. Strickland has come back here in the second to get the first 2 hitters. He'll try and get the side here. The pitch. Fisted down the line, stays fair. Tough play for Thompson. Long throw. Pulls Keenan off the base. So Smith doing a nice job to hustle down the line, get a piece of that tough fastball, and our official scorer, Kurt Edwards, has ruled that a base hit for Smith.
Well, it gives you an idea what the grass baselines are going to give you. That is, you're not going to get the ball to bite or roll one side or the other because somebody didn't rake the ground or whatever the case may be. So it also will slow the baseball down.
That's what I was going to say too, because that third path that used to be there was so darn hard that if you just beat it into the ground, that thing would just go smoking into left field.
Oh yeah.
So even a play like that where he got fisted, it would have been much tougher for Thompson because it would have been on him that much quicker. So
good old Astro dirt base hits or whatever, but with this grass, and it looks very flush, very, very thick. It just grabs the ball and slows it down.
Kind of like your backyard.
I wish my backyard looked like that. If I could cut through the weeds on it, I might have some.
Strickland is pitching now to Travis Alves, the right fielder, the number 9 hitter for James Gomez. And Alves has worked the count to 2-0. So Alves with 2 triples in 1 game earlier this year. He's the leader in that category for the team as he takes a strike outside. So he's obviously got some speed. If he can put it into the gap, we can watch him run.
And it was fun to have as a coach to have a rabbit sitting down in the 9 spot.
There's a fastball high, 3-1, and of course you and I played a lot and are fans of the game still, and I still think a triple is one of the most exciting plays in baseball, just to see a young man just hit one to the gap or down the line and just start running and have that play at the third and sliding and all that fun
No,
stuff.
I agree with you. I think a triple is the offensive sport in baseball.
Oh.
That keeps my streak alive right there.
That's no
What are you
triple.
squirming about?
That didn't sound good. I just felt for the kick. You know, that one didn't make a good sound.
Nah, it kind of had a little dead thud right to it. No harm done except for the simple fact that this allows Watsonville to turn the lineup over only in the second inning.
Well, Alves would argue with you that there's some harm done. Easy for you to say no harm done.
I'm coming at it from a purely pitching point of view.
Okay.
Of course, I've been the recipient of many of those that have come off shoulders, backs.
I just wanted you to clarify that because I figured Travis might be watching this next
probably
week and he
will.
may call you and say, "What the heck are you talking about, Edward?"
Yeah.
No harm.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd get
It'll still be blue by next week.
It will be. I'll autograph it for him right where the threads are.
So as you said, the lineup turns over. It's Matt Gomez who singled to lead off the game. 2 on, 2 out, top of the second. Pitch right down Broadway, fouled off by Gomez. Evens the count at 1-1. Gomez came in hitting just .217, but he had a .565 on base percentage, a team high 8 walks, aiding that statistic. So it's understandable why he's the leadoff hitter. Curveball in the dirt. Latore tries to pick him off at second to no avail. Smith gets back, but a nice piece of defense by Latore there to not only block it, but make a nice throw to keep Smith a half step closer.
Oh, I agree. And the fact that Aptos ran a nice defense, they had everybody backed up in case the ball happened to get through into center field. You have a catcher with a good arm. Latore has one. Show it. Sling that thing around.
2-1 pitch is inside. Driven foul down the left field line. So just a long strike there off the bat of Gomez. Evens the count at 2-2. A nice job to fight off that inside fastball.
He's got some quick hands. He may be only hitting .217, but he showed me that he's got some quick hands on an inside pitch. And not only do the hands have to be quick, but you got to be able to pull the trigger with those hips so everything clears out and the hands go right through the hitting zone. He did a nice job. It was a loud strike, but it was an impressive one.
Gomez just a junior, as I said, a lot of sophomores and juniors on this roster. The 2-2 pitch, outside, ball 3, so that'll allow the runners to take off here with this pitch. It's full count, 2 outs. So anything into the gap could score 2.
Be interesting to see, yes, Watsonville's runner at second base getting a shorter lead, which is perfect in a situation like this. So you can walk the lead. Should have your third base coach talking to you.
Oh, and another one gets plunked.
Poor Gomez, he gets hammered at home plate, has to go down for the count for a little while. As you can see, he comes back out and he's fine. And now he takes another one on ball 4. And how he's done, he's trying to figure out where this jinx is coming from. What did he do?
What did I do?
Was it something I did in my history class? Did I say something wrong to Mom when I left the house? What did I do to cause this trouble out there?
Aptos manager Tom Graham out to talk to his pitcher, Tommy Strickland, who got the first 2 outs of this inning. Looked good doing it. A strikeout and a pop out to the third baseman, but gave up a single to Smith and then beamed Alves and Gomez. So now bases juiced for Valdivia, who also singled and scored a run in the first as part of that Watsonville 2-run rally. Well, now he's got a chance with the bases loaded here to break it open. Valdivia leading this team in both hits and runs. He's hitting .414. First pitch is on the corner for a strike. Strickland gets ahead.
Well, one of the, watch the Strickland, he's going from, of course, we're looking at it from a little bit of an angle, but from the windup, which really should allow these players to get a good, solid walking lead. With 2 outs contact, 2 runs should easily score, provided Valdivia does get the base hit. And if Gomez has any kind of wheels and gets a jump, we could have a fun one at home plate, depending on how the ball is placed.
I don't think Gomez is coming home unless he leaves the yard, because he remembers what happened last time.
Well, Latore, for those of us that watched some Aptos football, and I did a game up in Scotts Valley with Jeff Conley way earlier in our broadcast season. Latore can stick. He is one solid young man.
There's a fastball outside, so Strickland is falling behind here, 3-1. Again, This was the count last time, I believe, that Valdivia got his hit on. And he's got it 3-1 here, so bases loaded, nowhere to put him. The pitch. Fastball hit to the right side, picked up nicely by Keenan. He'll take it himself to help his pitcher, Strickland, get out of a big jam there. Watsonville loads the bases, does not score. 1.5 innings in the books. It's 2-1 Watsonville. And you thought Comcast couldn't afford the finer things when they took over for our broadcast. We've got our cameras covered. There's Rick Yamada right there.
I'm proved wrong. It's only the 5th, 6th, 7th time today I've been proven wrong.
Ready for the rain, ready for all the elements as we start the bottom of the second. Curveball outside. Watsonville scored 2 in the top. Aptos 1 in the bottom. And then Aptos pitcher Tommy Strickland got out of a bases loaded jam. So here we are, bottom of the second. It's Andrew Ortega to lead off. Takes a ball high. Ortega, the number 6 hitter in the lineup for Tom Graham, second baseman. Comes in hitting .545 with a triple and a homer amongst his 6 hits. So power-packed Mariner lineup. Bluffs the bunt and draws ball 4. So leading man gets on for Aptos. That'll bring up Michael Keenan, the first baseman.
Well, one of the traditional things about the Aptos program, we'll go back 20 some odd years, is they like to bang. The ball players that come here, I don't know whether it's just the Aptos community or I'm sure it's great coaching. We have one way back when, Larry Hebert. These guys get just unbelievable amount of swings.
Keenan takes a strike. He comes in hitting .357 on the year with what else? 1 home run. So they all seem to have a home run on their total. And as you said, great Aptos history here of hitters. And of course, one of them is their assistant coach, Phil Ingram, who used to launch them way up on the road back in his day. And still does it in our, what do you call it? 30 under the hill? 30?
Under the 30 and over is under the hill.
Okay. That league.
Yeah, that league. 40 and over, that's over the hill, and I end up getting stuck playing in both of them. And somebody named Domhoff likes to light me up when he comes into town every once in a while, and it's not the guy that's sitting next to me.
Yes, well, I never had a chance, so we don't know.
Yeah, well,
it may have run in the family, or you may have gotten revenge.
That's why I retired. I didn't want to find out if it ran in the family or not.
Count is evened up here, 1-1 to Keenan. Man on first is Ortega. Camacho on the mound. He pitches. Bluffing the bunt is Keenan. Throw down to first, not in time. That throw made by Dustin Mora, Camacho's battery mate. We have yet to set the Watsonville D, so we'll do it here. Anthony Valdivia's in left, Matt Gomez in center, Travis Alves in right. Third to first, it's Matt Hargis, Joel Hawley, Bobby George at second, Matt Smith at first. Pitch by Camacho is fouled off to the right side. Leaving it up in 2-2, so Keenan trying to get the tying run over into scoring position. Kurt, I don't know if you remember the answer to this, but is it 4.5 innings they need to play for to be official in a 7-inning game? So
4.5.
They got to get to the top of the 5th, so we'll see how that affects the strategy here because ominous clouds loom.
Well, it always looks this way sometimes in Aptos, but the clouds are pretty thick if you look off to the west.
Curveball is a strike, throw on the run, got him! Dustin Mora throws out Andrew Ortega. Big play for Watsonville there. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. So Keenan swings through the curveball. Mora throws out Ortega. Just like that, there's 2 outs.
Well, one thing James Gomez, when we talked on the phone the other day, he says he's got 2 good catchers. Mora, you see, is one of them. They're quick, they get rid of the ball, and they're accurate. One of the great things that you saw with Mora is the ball didn't hang around in his hand real long. Great footwork, good exchange from the glove to the throwing hand, a very quick out. You can have the arm of Johnny Bench. Bench had a cannon back in the day. Pudge Rodriguez in modern day as a can, but they're quick. That ball is out of their hands before they're really completely standing up.
There's a strike to Cliff Nelson, the number 8 hitter for the Mariners. Nelson comes in hitting .214, but you're right, Kurt, the great ones not only have great strength in their arms, but quick releases. There's a ball outside, 2-1 the count. And what a booster that is for the pitcher, right? When you get a guy thrown out, it just swings the whole momentum of the inning. Now, instead of a guy on, you can go back to the windup. It's huge.
That's a monster play out there defensively to know that you have a catcher behind the dish that's able to do that. And what makes it even sweeter is that double play combination, the strikeout, throw him out. Man, you just pumped up that pitcher's confidence tenfold. Now, not only can I get a guy at K him, but I've got this guy with a cannon back there.
Curveball swung on and missed in the dirt. They'll have to throw him out. Mora does just that. So a 3-up, 3-down inning of sorts as just 3 came to the plate. One man got on, but was thrown out by Mora. So nice job by Aptos. 2 innings in the books. 2-1 Watsonville. Back for the 3rd right after this.
Come join the party as Whiting Foods on the Boardwalk celebrates 50 years of family, fun, food, and great jobs for students and athletes. Hook up with our team and meet new friends. Enjoy your work and check out the flexible schedules. Stop in today and make the team. Whiting Foods on the Boardwalk, celebrating 50 years as the leader in employment for students and athletes. Hey, join the team.
Santa Cruz County's #1 workout and health facility is now 29 and doing better than ever.
I've been coming here for 14 years. The Spa Fitness is getting better and better and better.
I stay at Spa Fitness Center because it just keeps getting better and better. More classes, more workout areas, more of everything. Spa Fitness Center, 29 years and going strong. The most successful health club in the county.
Come down right now.
There are 2 King's Paint stores to serve you in Santa Cruz County with quality products at prices lower than box stores. He runs the SCCAL store and tries to tell his brother Ron what to do.
He never listens to me.
Ron doesn't like to talk on TV. You'll find the best paints always at the lowest prices at King's Paint and Paper. They'll compete with anybody. Isn't that right, Ron? King's Paint and Paper, 2 great locations, locally owned for 20 years. You should know that Scarborough Lumber is one of the oldest and most community-oriented businesses in our region. From Pop Warner to the new Scotts Valley Falcons to the San Lorenzo Valley Cougars and Cabrillo College, Scarborough is there providing resources and support. Scarborough Lumber and Building Supply is involved because sports helps develop leadership and responsibility with our young people. From their garden store to lumber, the hardware to building supplies, Scarborough Lumber and Building Supplies, working to make our community stronger and better.
Back for the top of the 3rd from Mariner Field at Aptos, Joel Domhoff, Kurt Edwards. You see the Mariner bench there looking on as their teammates out there to play defense here in the 3rd against Watsonville's Josh Camacho, who will lead off this inning with his team leading 2-1. Camacho gets ahead 2-0, so we've seen a couple of rallies from both teams here, Kurt Edwards. We've seen a bases loaded situation that this Aptos pitcher, Tommy Strickland, got out of last inning. Good defense. There's a pop fly into center field. Going out, and he drops it. That was Jay Ramsey. And our official scorer, Kurt Edwards, is being very, very nice today. Early in the season.
It's early in the season. Ball slicing just a little bit away from him. Plus, I got Latorre right between me and what the heck Ramsey's doing, so I couldn't see it very well.
Well,
So
he got that wind that we had talked about between innings here. It is blowing out hard to right field. In fact, that flag we used as an indicator early is about to go down. But that, I think, led to that mistake, I guess you could call it. Or
just a little slicer right off the bat. You can see it looked like my 9-iron. Just slicing away. Not my driver. Driver looks worse. Just slicing away from everybody.
There's a fastball hammered into center field, but it's right at Sean Weaver. Nice piece of hitting by Joel Hawley. Unfortunate for him that he hit it right at someone, but that one was probably the hardest hit ball of the day.
It was. He hit it right on the screws. He hit that definite atom ball, and it just hung up there. That's one where you get underneath it, but not enough to get the loft on the ball, but just a straight line you can hang your laundry on, right to the center fielder.
Weaver had him played perfectly, made a nice catch.
Now check out this shift out there. Weaver, the center fielder, is shifted over towards right center field. And Nelson, the left fielder, is slightly over towards left center field. So obviously the book on George is he's not apt to pull this pitch.
There's a curve ball that he swings through and misses, and you're right. And also I think they are playing the wind too and seeing what Strickland's been throwing, but
that pitch, Strickland threw a nice breaking ball, and I'd load up on another one, throw another one a little bit even worse, throw the breaking ball away. Not the
There's
fastball.
one that gets by Latore, bounces right to him, but he can't pick it up. So Camacho will advance to second on the wild pitch that time.
Poor Latore really didn't have much of a chance. If he could have been a little quicker, maybe, but that was a fastball. Latore's reaction was such that I'm not certain he actually called the fastball. I mean, I personally would have thrown another deuce.
May have cross signals there. George now with an RBI chance. Takes high. Ball two. George hit a dribbler up the line his first at bat, and the pitcher Strickland ran over and tagged him himself. So the fact they have him shaded to right may not be such a bad strategy. There's a strike on the corner to even it up, 2-2.
Strickland continues to work the outside part of the plate, saying, you know, your power may be to pull it, but if you try and pull the outside pitch, all you're going to do is generally pop it up or beat it into the ground.
2-2 pitch. Right down the middle to the shortstop, Ramsey. He'll throw across the diamond to Keenan to get the out. Advancing to third, Camacho. 2 outs. Dustin Moore will be the batter. He struck out his first time.
Now you talked about Phil Ingram, who's an Aptos player here, days of old, coaching and plays in the Under the Hill League. I faced him years ago now. It was his first time out. I think he had just turned 30. Maybe he was a whopping 31 at the time.
There's a fastball hit to right field in the Bermuda Triangle, but Weaver chases it down like the center fielder should. So Camacho is stranded. Nice piece of pitching by Tommy Strickland to get out of that one. Keeping Watsonville at 2 on the board. Bottom of the third upcoming. And there you see Bill Ingram, as you were talking about him before that last half inning ended, Kurt Edwards.
Yeah, I got a chance with the Over the Hill. Well, I'm Over the Hill. Bill's not. First time in my third year in the league, we're playing, I think it was Kansas City or whatever the team he was on, and up he shows up. And I'm looking in at this guy, and he looks familiar, but I can't place him real well.
There's a curveball swung on and missed by Sean Weaver, who's leading off here for Aptos in the bottom of the third.
So finally, I think it's a 1-1 count. Bill steps out, yells, or says something like, "Hi, Coach, how are you?" And that just lights up my infield real quick.
There's a curveball, a half swing. He got enough of it to slap it into left field for a base hit. So 3 straight innings, Aptos has had the leadoff hitter reach. Weaver does it this time. Will turn the lineup over for Tommy Strickland.
Yeah, it's just a nice bit of hitting. Just put the ball in play. Anyway, soon after Phil says hi and kind of tips his cap and I recognize who he is, he turns around and hits a double off the wall on me. My shortstop, who had played the big leagues, is all over me with his "Hi, Coach. What are you, you get big league by your former ball player? What is this stuff?" So I took that one for the better part of that game.
There's a double play ball. Hawley to George. They can't turn it as a nice piece of base running by Weaver that time. Caused enough disruption to keep Watsonville from turning it over. So they trade Strickland for Weaver at first base. 1 out now.
James Gomez going out to talk to Ed Violante. He is the base umpire out there. And I know what James's question is. James, a former middle infielder for the Wildcats and for Cabrillo, and I believe for not Sonoma State, Stanislaus State, one of those S states anyways. And James has been taken out many times. And the basic rule of baseball at the high school and the collegiate levels, and even the pros, but you don't see it there, is you must slide at the bag. You cannot chase either the second baseman or the shortstop. And it must be a direct slide right at the bag. And nowadays, you can't even take anybody out. Of course, our days, we were chasing them in the left field, chasing them in the right field, hoping to get a piece of somebody out there as we slide in to break up that double play.
Of course. Yeah, and it looked like that time perhaps the runner slid a bit too late, I think would probably be Gomez's argument there, as he waited till the last possible second to start his slide. May have been the cause of that double play not being turned, but a brief argument. He made his point, got in, got out, and that brings up Jay Ramsey.
Well, I haven't seen Ed Violante lose an argument on the baseball field in 20 years, and I don't anticipate to see him lose one now. Anyways, back with Phil. He comes up again. We've got the bases loaded, anyways, he's the potential winning run. If he gets a base hit, I lose. So you know I'm not going to let him get a base hit. I'll take his head off. I'll take his ankle off. He's not going to get a base hit off of me.
Ramsey pounds it to the right side for a base hit. They're going to send the runner Strickland, and now they hold him up. And that's going to cost him as Ramsey takes second on that sequence, but really Tom Graham that time, the manager of Aptos, probably the one you got to point the finger at, because he was initially waving Strickland in, and then he suddenly stopped him, and Tommy was left out to dry.
You can't, as a third base, as a runner for starters, you got to be able to pick up your third base coach prior to making the turn out at second base. You also have to realize where your outfielders are, how hard the ball is hit, and last but not least, none of us ever agree to this one, how slow or fast you might actually happen to be, because that all adds into the sequence. But as a coach, if you throw the brake lights out after the guy rounds the bag, you're asking for it.
Latorre pops one up sky high to the right side. It's the right fielder, Travis Alves, who camps under it. So another crisis averted by Josh Camacho for Watsonville allows them to maintain this 2-1 lead as he got Latorre to pop out there after Ramsey was sitting at second. So 3 innings in the books. It's Watsonville 2, Aptos 1. Top of the 4th here for Mariner Field on the campus of Aptos High School, and it's a new pitcher for Aptos. The third baseman, Chris Thompson, comes in. He's just going to flip positions with starting pitcher Tommy Strickland. So Strickland, your third baseman, Thompson, your pitcher.
Hang on, we got a new behind the dish or two.
Number 2.
Mr. New. We have New is the new catcher.
How easy is that, huh?
Well, it's pretty easy for me.
Of course, it's not easy for me because I don't have him on my roster. That shows you, well, how organized things are here. But nonetheless, Latorre's out. New is in. And number 10, Matt Hargis, is your batter. He's fallen behind 0-2, so Thompson has gotten out here early. Another curveball, that one's low.
Comes at him with a little bit of a slur. Now, familiar name to baseball fans in the area, Eichhorn. Mark Eichhorn comes out here, been out periodically to work with some of these Aptos pitchers. Mark Eichhorn, 10+ years in the big leagues, World Series ring. And he plays with the Under the Hill gang, too.
Yes, he does, and he's as nasty as he ever was.
Well, he's got this little funky stuff that just sort of slips out of his hand.
It's known as the Fang.
Well,
really funky. It's not even sidearm. It's underarm. It's scary good.
Oh, he's he found a niche, as we find that Hargis doesn't find the ball.
Thompson strikes out his first batter. That brings up Matt Smith. But yeah, Ike, impressive to play with out here and watch his stuff. It is, as I said, as nasty as ever. Of course, local baseball fans know him from that, but now they know him as one of the coaches of the Aptos World Series Little Leaguers. So he He got the World Series ring as a player and then got a World Series appearance as a coach with the Little Leaguers, and that was just a great story last year. There's a pitch hammered into center field by Smith. It'll drop in for a base hit. He won't go for two, content with that single. So 1 out, 1 on. Travis Alves, your batter.
Yeah, and the Aptos outfield had shifted over. The shift was on. Center fielder Weaver playing way over in right center field. He had a long way to come, as did Nelson, who was playing, they shaded a little bit towards left center field, and that ball had seeing eye fly ball base hit written all over it.
1 on, 1 out. Alves squares the bunt, puts down a beauty. That's textbook, folks. And it's going to be a base hit in the process. So he put it down, I think, just to sacrifice him over, Kurt Edwards, and he got a bonus because he put it in such a good spot, he beat it out for a single.
Well, I'll tell you this much, and people will argue because most big leaguers can't bunt. But bunting should be the easiest thing to do for a hitter. You're squaring around, you're looking right at it. It's not a big mystery what it is you've got to do. Everybody in the county knows it. Just put the ball down, get it to move 15 feet off the plate, you're going to be successful. And on this type of a turf, which there isn't any lines, the ball just dies on you.
Fastball outside to Matt Gomez.
I just look at bunting as one of the tremendous lost arts of baseball. Some people can attribute it to the simple fact that we've got the aluminum bats out there now, but they've been out for a while, and these hitters can master the bunt. They just have to take sacrifice time out of their BP and have a coach like Gomez or Mitch Myers or Bill Dodge, who is in the audience, just pounding it down top of their heads. Because plays like that make baseball games. You can win and lose baseball games out of a simple little bunt.
At every level, too, Kurt, and that was going to be my question for you. How much do you think the big leagues influence what trickles down? Because the bunt has been lost at the big league level, and of course, Giants manager, there's a fly ball to left field. Hit pretty well, but Nelson is under it, makes the catch, tagging, and no, they call him out. Matt Smith thrown out there, so a double play for Aptos on a nice piece of defense. Nelson to Strickland, actually Nelson to Ramsey to Strickland to get that inning-ending double play. So momentum builder for Aptos, 3.5 in the books. They trail 2-1. Leading off the fourth for Aptos, it's the cleanup hitter, Greg Jones, and he pounds one down the left field line for a leadoff double. So Mariners had that momentum builder, as I said, Kurt Edwards, to end the top of the fourth. A nice double play, and Greg Jones felt that vibe as he smashed that one to left for a double.
Oh, he did that when he got a nice pitch that he could use, and he just turned and yacked it. Bill Bunner, the home plate umpire, he's talking to somebody over there in that dugout. He's speaking with James Gomez on the right, Phil Gomez, the pitching coach, on the left.
Looks like it was something minor, but this break allows us to finish that story about bunting. As I was saying, Felipe Alou has taken a lot of heat early on because he said, hey, I want to bunt. And a lot of so-called experts are saying, this is crazy. This is a different era. You got to play for the 3-run homer. But my question to you was, how much does what happens at that level affect what we see at this one?
It affects it a great deal because the kids that get recruited, for the most part, are the guys that can flat bang the ball. Days of yesteryear where your number 1, 2, and 8 hitters were magicians with the bat that could drop the ball down, to hit and run. Usually you may have 2 guys in your lineup, especially American League, that can't leave the yard. Even those guys nowadays can leave the yard.
Chris Thompson grounds to the left side. The runner gambles and it pays off. There's a nice play by the shortstop, Joel Hawley, to throw out Thompson, but Jones broke on contact and advanced to third on the play, so bails out his teammate Thompson there in a sense, because Thompson's job is to get him to third, and that's not necessarily the textbook way to do it, but now he's over there.
Usually, well, not usually, you are coached as a runner, ball hit in front of you, runner at second base, ball hit in front of you, hold your ground, make it go through, or break on the throw. In this particular case, Jones broke on contact, and fortunately Holly had to jiggle that thing just a little bit, and then long throw able to get the out. So the Mariners had a little bit of a luck go on for them on that one.
And perhaps Kurt some home field advantage because they know that their grass is slow, perhaps.
Very
They
true.
figure if it's hit on the ground, we know it's going to take a while to get to the infielder break. And of course, the other thing, of course, is the weather. We saw a bit of sprinkles here early, and maybe they figured, hey, the ball might be wet. It's going to be tough for them to pick it up clean. Let's just go on contact.
All a good cause. One thing, though, I'll tell you, as a coach, you're the runner at second base, you better make it.
Oh, yeah.
You better make it. You're still going to hear about it, but you better make it.
Andrew Ortega, the hitter, he swings through a fastball. He walked his first time up.
Well, now all Ortega has to do is kind of get the ball in the air. A little flip shot as we're looking at the infield.
It's in.
Hargis, Holly, Jones, and Smith, they are all playing with their little size 10s right on the grass.
He hits it hard anywhere, it'll be a ribby. Let's see. Curveball, breaks low, evens the count at 2-2.
See, here's where we're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Watsonville on top is 2-1, but I'll still play my infield back. I will give up a run at this point in time. I just think too many things can go wrong with the infield end. If I hit the ball hard, if it's just a little bit left or right, bad things can happen. You cut down your range of defense.
Well, perhaps James Gomez sees these skies above us and figures it might be a shortened game, and so he feels like this is the seventh inning in a sense. As he throws ball 4, does Camacho, so Ortega drawing the walk. That may have been the other strategy, Kurt, is they wanted to pitch around Ortega, get him to chase, and now they've got a double play set up.
Hey, you can set that double play up. Holly, very good shortstop. George, second base, they're backing off into somewhat double play depth, although George is a long ways from second base. Ball is hit to shortstop. He better be able to jump on his thoroughbred because he's got a lot of dirt to travel on.
Michael Keenan, the hitter, he struck out his first time. 2 on, 1 out. Fastball right down the middle. Camacho gets ahead. Camacho working in his 4th inning here. And he's escaped jams already. He's got one here with a 2-1 lead.
He's done a little bit of a Houdini act, and he's got a big one right now. He'd like to get a strikeout or a pop out in his favor, so the runners have to stay with the respective spots.
That one missed down low, evens the count, 1-1. Keenan in a big spot here for Aptos.
And Keenan's got 1 home run on the season, coming in with a .357 batting average.
There's a fastball in the inside corner, so Camacho gets ahead, 1-2.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but with today's metal bats, I still believe you should have to own the inside portion of the plate. And I mean underneath the hands, own the inside portion of the plate. You have to be able to back the hitter off the plate and let him know that you are going to come inside, because then it can set up all of the stuff away. And in today's hitters, you watch it in the big leagues and everybody else, everybody's diving for the pitch away. It's hard to handle that pitch, or at least people perceive it hard to handle the inside fastball. But you as a hitter are naturally going to turn on that pitch. Depends on how strong are you and how quick are your hands and hips to get through the hitting zone and into the bat. But as a pitcher, and I own that spot, get there, go there, pound it if you have to, but establish as you can get there, then your changeup can work away, throw that off-speed curveball over there, or as our buddy Eichhorn, you can throw the bang and just kind of wobble and bobble that thing up there. And he's so doggone big, long, and lanky, it looks like he's coming from the third base coach's box.
Looks like he's about 20 feet away from you by the time it actually leaves his hand.
Well, it is.
And of course, in cold weather too, if you jam them, it sure stinks the hands. And there's a nice curveball, strike 3. Keenan caught looking for the second out of the inning. A huge out for Camacho. He tries to work his way out of another jam. Now he's got the number 8 hitter, Cliff Nelson, up. And we need to take a quick break here for a tape. Nelson takes a strike, and taking off is Andrew Ortega on the steal. So we're back for this rally. It's the bottom of the fourth. Aptos trailing 2-1, 2 outs. Men on second, third after the steal by Ortega. Cliff Nelson, your batter. It's a 2-0 count to the number 8 hitter. So we've seen Josh Camacho of Watsonville work out of some jams. He's got another big one here. He got the strikeout of Keenan. But now he's 2-0 to Nelson. The pitch into right field. That'll drop for a fair ball. 2 runs will score. It'll be at least a double, and they'll hold him up there. Cliff Nelson gives Aptos the lead. Nice piece of hitting. Took it to right field. Just a sophomore, Cliff Nelson. Looked like he was much older and wiser on that swing, Kurt Edwards.
He did. He had a great look at it. The ball, he was looking for the ball away. Nelly starts out. He's got that open stance, and as we talked before, he dives on in. The pitch was away. It was a flat fastball, nothing on it. And he did a nice job of just going with the pitch, getting 2 big ribbies.
Sean Weaver, the hitter now, the number 9 hitter, the center fielder. He singled his first time up, so Aptos had been knocking at the door here in each of the first 3 innings. They had base runners, but just had 1 run to show for, but they break through here against Camacho. There's a high curveball pounded to third. Hargis, the long throw, nice play across the diamond to Matt Smith. So that'll end the 4th inning, but not before the home team Mariners take a 3-2 lead. Top of the 5th is gonna be fun. The future of Mariner baseball here. Part of this crowd that's battled this cold weather to this point. Camacho hits one to the right side. Camped under it is Greg Jones. So 2 quick outs here in the 5th for Aptos pitcher Chris Thompson. You got the leadoff hitter Anthony Valdivia to fly out to left. Gets Camacho to fly to right. So the number 2 and 3 hitters are both retired. And now it brings up the cleanup man, Joel Hawley, who has struck out and flied out 0 for 2 to this point.
This is what you want as a pitcher. Get the outs quick, get people to go after a bad pitch. As Thompson throws a high fastball, and as we stated before, they're tough to lay off of, and Holly couldn't lay off of that one.
There's another one. That one was in a bit, and it'll stay in play. Catcher Neil New makes the catch, so 3 up, 3 down for Chris Thompson and the Mariners. All the momentum on the third base side of the dugout here as Aptos scored 2 in the 4th to take the lead. Thompson goes 1-2-3 through the heart of the Watsonville lineup. Bottom of the 5th will be coming now, and it's 3-2 Aptos.
The batter, the third baseman,
and Kurt Edwards, as you look at the Watsonville Brain Trust there, Aptos now, from their perspective, the most important thing is there's a fly ball by Strickland. Camping under it is Gomez, who makes the catch, but from the Aptos perspective, they're happy now because the game is now official.
It's an official ball game. It's in the books, so now the Mariners, their job is obviously to keep the offense rolling. Strickland put a nice swing on the ball and drove Gomez back a fair distance to center field, but now they got to play good, solid defense and get good pitching, and Thompson did the right thing. 3 up, 3 down. Make it look easy.
Here's Jay Ramsey now, who has reached base in both appearances, a walk and a single. The Mariners' number 2 hitter, their shortstop. Josh Camacho still out there for Watsonville. What else would you expect? He's their number 1 guy, according to his coach, James Gomez.
Yeah.
So he's got to eat up innings.
He's got to eat up the innings. I'll tell you one thing about Camacho, when he's not pitching and burning all those fuel up there.
There's a drive to deep right field. The park won't hold this one. It is out of here. Jay Ramsey took a high fastball, launched it into the weeds in right. Aptos leads 4-2.
4th home run on the season for Jay Ramsey, and it was a no-doubter. Camacho left a pitch up, slightly in, and Ramsey did a great job of hitting. He didn't try and do anything real quick to the ball. Didn't try and overpower it, didn't have to. He's a strong left-handed hitter. And Jay's the third, I think he's number 3 on the Ramsey family to come through an Aptos program.
There's Neil New, the new catcher. He lines out to short on the first pitch, so 2 outs. But getting back to Ramsey's blast, we talked earlier about how tough sometimes it is for a lefty to hit a lefty, but he sure didn't have any problems launching that one.
Not at all. No movement on that pitch at all. Stayed up high, and Jay did a great job of staying within himself, keeping that front shoulder closed, and then just exploding right through. Did a nice job of exploding through with the hips and the backside and just driving that ball. Jay's dad, Tom, if memory serves me, played here at Aptos for Paul Barrington, and his uncle Scott was a pitcher here at Aptos when I helped out Barrington more than a decade or 2 ago. So it's nice to see the Ramsey tradition come through, and just like the other 2, Jay can hit the ball.
Greg Jones can hit it as well. He's been perfect thus far for Aptos with a sacrifice fly for an RBI and a double and a run scored in the 4th. Part of that rally that gave Aptos the lead, and now Ramsey's given them some insurance here in the 5th.
Those runs are big, folks. It's hard to get runs. This park is small, and it can play small on occasion. It played small for Ramsey that last one with the wind blowing out towards right field. You can say, yeah, it helped it. Well, it may have pushed it another 10 feet, but there was no doubt about that ball was leaving.
As soon as it left his bat, you can just tell it made the sound. It looked like it. It felt like it, and surely it was. As you said, the wind helped, but it didn't really need that help, as that was a good pitch off the fingers of Camacho there. His battery mate, Dustin Mora, thought it was a strike as he's talking to the ump there, but count full, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Aptos leading 4-2 from Mariner Field. Joel Domhoff, Kurt Edwards. There's a pitch high for ball 4. So Jones remains perfect. A double, a walk, a sac fly, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Chris Thompson.
The pitcher, number 9.
Now, Chris had a good opportunity to help himself, or at least keep this rally alive, albeit it's tough when you've got 2 outs and a runner at first base. Chris Thompson, 412 on the season, 8 RBIs, so he can put the ball in play. He can hit it hard.
He lined into a double play, actually, to end the first inning. A fastball for a strike, and then grounded out to short. But the one he hit in the first was definitely hit hard, so we'll see what he can do. His 3rd look now at Josh Camacho, who may be tiring a bit. Pitch count is up for the lefty. See if he can escape. The pitch. Golfed into center field. Center fielder Gomez going back. Makes the running catch. Nice play by Gomez to end the 5th. But not before Jay Ramsey's long home run gives Aptos a 4-2 lead after 5. Bobby George to lead off here in the 6th inning for Watsonville. They trail 4-2. Chris Thompson out for his 3rd inning of work for Aptos. And he got George to swing through that one to even up the count at 1-1. It'll be George followed by Dustin Mora and Matt Hargis here in the 6th. There's one in, up high. Is it deep enough? Back to the fence, and it is. We don't have a signal here, Kurt Edwards.
Yeah, he hasn't shown me the baseball yet, so he doesn't have one to show me. That's how it comes.
There it is. It's a home run for Bobby George to lead off the 6th. So the deficit cut in half there. Watsonville was down 2, just like that. They're down 1. The big man George getting it done.
He got it done that time, and I think with Nelson, as he thought he should have caught that ball, so he was probably sitting at the base of the fence. First off, it hurts when you collide with the fence. Second off, I think he was disappointed with himself that he did not come up with the baseball. Now, one of the things, and if you come to a game here at Mariner Field here in Aptos, it is 310 down the left field line. And I got news for you, folks. It stays about 310 for about, 90 feet out in left field, and it finally starts to drift away. But it is a very shallow left field porch.
So Thompson, after a perfect fifth inning, gives up the homer to lead off the sixth, and an Aptos homer, we could call it there.
Oh, now you're sounding like Santa Cruz on me on this one.
I gave up a couple pop flies out here that I just, we used to play at Harvey West was our home field. Now, of course, it's Dodge Field. Beautiful diamond there, but it used to be old Harvey West. Talk about a pitcher's park, especially at night. You just throw it up there and let them hit it.
Flip it and hit it. No, I talked about our buddy Phil Ingram. We had a game at Harvey West, the old Harvey West, before they have the nice chain link fence, and it actually looked like you were going into, I don't know, a mausoleum or a tomb, because it was a wood fence all the way around, and it was dark and dingy. The only thing the same was the dugouts. There's still a size 4 dugout trying to get these kids in there. And I looked out at Phil out in center field, and from the waist down, he was gone. The fog had rolled in. You could see Phil from the waist up, but from the waist down, there was no Ingram. He had completely disappeared. And our right fielder, I think his name was Green, he also had managed to figure out how to disappear out there.
Hey, I'll tell you what, that wasn't a one-time story you're telling there. Everyone in the last 20 years that's played at Harvey West could tell one like that. When that fog would roll in, boy, good luck. And sometimes I'd be in the outfield and, fly ball out there, forget about it. Hard hit ball, but right at the shortstop Ramsey. Throws across the diamond to get Mora, so first out of the inning recorded, and it's Hargis now for Watsonville as they trail by 1.
Now Ramsey showing good defensive fundamentals, dropped the glove open. Of course, when you get that big candy one hop as this kind of comes into you, it's a very easy one to make that play on. And I've always said, if infielders can make the routine play, they can play at any level.
The batter.
I agree with you
10,
totally. And of course, this
Hargis.
infield, as we told you, is new, and that helped, as you said, a nice kind bounce right to him. Hargis gets ahead 2-0 here. Thompson in his third inning, as we told you, stands to get the victory if he can hang on here.
Well, this time of year at Aptos High School, the sun never really comes into play.
There's one popped straight up. We'll see if New has a play right in front of us. He does. So a nice play by the Mariner catcher. And I'm not sure where Aptos is going here, folks. That's just the second out.
It's New math.
Both Neil New and the pitcher Chris Thompson sprinted to the dugout, and their teammates were looking at him saying, boys, it's 3 up, 3 down.
Well, they're not the first group of athletes that have ever decided to try and pull a fast one and leave the field with 2. And you know what it's usually? It's the pitcher and the catcher.
There's a smash to the right side. Ortega, though, picks it up, makes a nice throw over to Keenan. So now they can run off the field. That's the third out in the 6th. So Watsonville gets 1 on the home run by George, answering the home run by Ramsey. Bottom of the 6th now upcoming. Aptos with the 1-run lead. Bottom of the 6th. Andrew Ortega will lead off. He made the nice play to end the 5th inning, or excuse me, the top of the 6th. And still out there for Watsonville. The kid's arm must be rubber. Josh Camacho.
He's still throwing, and he's still got that curveball. I guess the only knock on Camacho, and it's not much because I'm watching his form. He looks pretty good on the mound. He brings the ball very well. He's just hasn't really got a good consistency on his pitches, but he is such a battler that he fights his way right back in. He's got a good defense sitting behind him. And he's got a great pitching coach in Phil Gomez, who will continue to work with this young left-hander, who's got a nice compact motion. Tends to short arm it a little bit, but you can see he's around the plate. He's not missing by much.
I was going to say, he's starting to get squeezed a little here. I'm especially protective of the lefties, being one myself, but boy, in any league, those last 2 pitches look like strikes. There's one there. It's 3-1 now. But
well, I'll tell you one thing about umpires, and umpires will argue with me, and I'll argue back, and I've not won an argument with one of them either. But as a pitcher, if you can find out where their strike zone is, or you can be consistent in and around home plate and develop a reputation of a strike 1, strike 2 pitcher, they're going to give you those outside pitches more times than not.
True. Although that last one looked exactly like the first one that he called the ball, but Camacho overcomes it all as he strikes out Ortega to lead off the sixth.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. Camacho, he's able to battle back. He's not missing by a whole heck of a lot, and that's a real good sign if you're James Gomez or Phil Gomez as you're watching him pitch, and he's not wild all over the place. He's getting nickeled and dimed on the corners, and umpires will tell you the plate is, it's the white part. They're not going to, if the ball hits the black, we're not going to give it to you. And major league umpires and college umpires, they'll give you the width of the baseball on the outside of the plate.
Well, that was the first time Ortega had been retired. There's a ball hit to right center by Michael Keenan. It's hit a long way. Into the gap, it'll fall to the fence, and he'll hold up at second with a one-out double. So Michael Keenan, after striking out his first 2 times at the plate, it's a nice ball to the right side. Hit them where they ain't. He did it that time. One-out double. Nelson will be the hitter, and before he hits, we want to thank our crew here today. Mark Ligon, our producer, Woody Carroll, our director, John Boucher on graphics, and our camera people giving you all these fine shots, Ken Burden, Joel Stauffer, and Rick Yamada. Thank you, gentlemen. I know we've battled some technical difficulties here, but sure it'll all look smooth when we show it next week. There's a swing and a miss by Nelson. So Camacho is going to have to try and work out of a jam once again, Kurt Edwards.
He seems to have been in more jam than Smuckers has been in throughout this entire day, but he's fighting his way out of it. To only give up 4 runs is quite a good achievement.
Yeah, no 3 up, 3 down.
No,
he had 1, but that was thanks to a double play, a strike him out, throw him out in the second. But the leadoff man Ortega had reach, so every inning Aptos has had someone on.
I'll tell you, that takes its toll on a pitcher mentally, because you're always in the stretch, which I believe you should work out of more than the windup when you're doing your bullpen, but that's just my 10-cent opinion. A breaking ball.
There's a pitch that gets away from Mora, so Keenan advances to third with 1 out, which of course means just a fly ball or a grounder to one of the middle infielders can get a ribby here for Nelson. And some insurance for the Mariners.
And they would love to get some of that insurance. And Nelson, of course, his last time up, as you pointed out, had that double that drove in 2 to get the Mariners on top. So he would love, since he figures he's got that hot bat coming, to get another rip.
There's a ball inside, runs the count to 2-1.
I'd like to point out we saw 2 hitters get hit today. In my 15 years of doing baseball for Comcast, there's not been one game that I haven't done that somebody hasn't got popped. Now, so having said that, oh yeah, there's something coming behind this one. I played in the Basin League, and I pitched up there, Rapid City in the Basin League, had 7 teams up there. I led the league as a pitcher in hitting batters. I hit 10. I also led the league in getting hit. I got hit 10 times.
Wow, going up to really up high for that RBI as Nelson hit one over his head, but it's a single nonetheless, and another RBI, his 3rd of the game. Keenan scores. Aptos gets that run back that they surrendered in the top of the 6th, so 5-3 Aptos your score.
That wild pitch, if you can allow somebody to do a freebie up 90 feet, put them in scoring position, more times than not, that and the walk comes back to hurt you.
And there's a pitch in the dirt, gets away from Mora. So the second one to get away from the catcher in this inning puts another man in scoring position. Nelson at second for Sean Weaver, who's 1 for 2. He singled in the 3rd, grounded out to the 3rd baseman in the 4th. So Aptos could really give themselves some breathing room here.
Now the one thing, we talked earlier about the new format.
There's a liner into the gap, and that should get the run home. Slipping as he tried to pick it up was Gomez. Scoring without a throw is Nelson. Weaver goes into second on the play, so another RBI single. And now Aptos has doubled him up at 6-3. The bottom of the order getting it done, Kurt.
Now that's important if you want to win in this league, any league. The bottom part of your order has to come through big time. And the Mariners have, with Nelson with 3 RBIs, Weaver picking up an RBI, his first. So 4 RBIs sitting in the 8 and 9 spot. That is absolutely huge.
Back to the top of the order, it's Tommy Strickland who takes a ball high. So Camacho has avoided jams throughout, but the last 3 innings, Aptos has put up 5 runs on him.
And I remember
this lead.
The last time these two teams faced, which was earlier this week, Aptos, Watsonville was on top, Aptos jumped on top, and then Watsonville comes back, and then their defense is finally able to hold. Probably one of the weaknesses on both of these ball clubs, and you can probably say this about anyone, is the defense. And we have some very good young athletes out there, but high school practice, you're really limited in the number of reps you can take as an infielder out there, and that makes it really tough. Talking with both coaches, Coach Graham for Aptos says, we're young, and we've got some defensive inexperiences out there, missing cutoffs, throwing the ball to the wrong place, that type of situation. James Gomez says, we're probably stronger up the middle than we've ever been before, but we can still improve our defense.
Camacho delivers a strike after a pep talk from his pitching coach,
The
Bill Gomez.
Oh, those are always good. Do you ever have a pitching coach come out to you and the first question out of their mouth is, what's wrong?
Yeah. That's always a big confidence.
Yeah, I always like that one.
1 out, 1 on. Aptos trying to add to a 3-run lead. Camacho gets ahead, though. 1 and 2 now, the count to Strickland.
You know, that pitch, he just left it a little bit behind him. And one of the things young pitchers, when they get frustrated or tired, is they get in too much of a hurry and their body gets ahead of their arm. They leave those pitches up high in the strike zone or out of the strike zone.
Curve ball by the shortstop, Hawley into left field. There'll be a play at the plate. Valdivia's throw is offline. Throw down to second. And they ring up Strickland for the second out of the inning, but not before Weaver scores on a RBI single.
Dale Strickland had it. That's a good move. You send the runner at home plate. The throw is coming to the plate. You've got to take advantage. Good aggressive base running by the Mariners, especially when you were up. At that point, they were up by 3. Now they're up by 4. But you've got to play that style of baseball if you want to win.
Tough hop on Hawley, too, that time, the shortstop. Not much he could do with it.
That had a wicked hop to him, a little spin on the ball, and kicked off the heel of his glove. But good job by Valdivia to come up quick to make the throw in towards home plate.
You saw that pitch low and away to the batter, Jay Ramsey, and who can blame Camacho for putting it down there, because last time up, last inning, he put one up and in, and Ramsey hit it up and out, and there he had another one to hit, but he just got under it. That'll stay in the park. Gomez, the center fielder, chases it down, so that'll end the 6th, but not before 3 runs put on the board by Aptos. We'll be back to see if they can close this one out right after this.
You should know that Scarborough Lumber is one of the oldest and most community-oriented businesses in our region. From Pop Warner to the new Scotts Valley Falcons to the San Lorenzo Valley Cougars and Cabrillo College, Scarborough is there providing resources and support. Scarborough Lumber and Building Supply is involved because sports helps develop leadership and responsibility with our young people. From their garden store to lumber, to hardware to building supplies, Scarborough Lumber and Building Supplies, working to make our community stronger and better. Outdoor World can take care of all your sporting goods needs.
In 1978, my 3 sons and I started Outdoor World at this River Street location with the idea of bringing you a great selection of merchandise at everyday low prices.
At all our locations, you'll find great selection and low prices for all your outdoor and sporting goods needs.
Locally owned, locally operated. Outdoor World.
Get all your winter and summer sporting goods needs at our Santa Cruz, Monterey, or Capitola Superstore.
Check our large selection and low prices.
Bailey Properties has been serving the community for more than 28 years.
We don't just live here, we work here. We care about the future. We're involved beyond sports. We're active in the Chamber of Commerce, education, and the arts.
The original Bailey Properties was established in 1974 and now has grown to include property management and vacation rentals. The newest Bailey Properties office in Santa Cruz is centrally located to serve all of northern Santa Cruz County.
We're working with the community to build a better tomorrow. We're realtors who care. Call us today.
Jerry's back. Yes, Jerry Sports is back in business. So let's play Find Jerry Sports. We'll start at the old store. Head south to 41st Avenue on SoCal Avenue. Turn right before the bridge that takes you to SoCal Drive. Do not go over the bridge. Go past Staples on SoCal Avenue frontage road. Then go 7/10 of a mile. We're right next to All American Motorcycles. Sorry, Jerry probably won't be outside waving you down though. Come in and see our great selection of shoes and sporting goods today. Jerry's back.
Replacing Al for the 9th spot.
4 in the top of the 7th as they trail 7-3. And to help hopefully get that started, it's a pinch hitter. Tommy Carambella sent up there in the 9th spot for Travis Alf. So Carambella will see what he can do against Chris Thompson, who stands to get the victory here for Aptos. In relief, Carambella comes in hitting 176, 3 for 17, although his 3 hits have led to 4 RBI, so we'll see what the lefty can do. Swings through that one. He'll turn over the lineup after this. It'll be Matt Gomez and Anthony Valdivia to follow. 3 more outs needed for Aptos, and the way this game started, Kurt Edwards, we didn't know if we'd see the 7th inning, but Mother Nature has complied. And Aptos took advantage as they trailed the first 3 innings, but then took the lead with a 2-run 4th, and then got insurance with 1 in the 5th and 3 in the 6th.
Yeah, there was that time there when I thought the rains were going to come and we'd be in trouble.
That one was hit hard, but right at the shortstop. Ramsey, low throw, gets away though from Keenan. So just what James Gomez wanted. His leadoff hitter reaches on an error. Now it'll be Gomez at the top of the order.
I would be surprised to see if we may see a pinch runner. Yes, number 23 Carmona is going to step in and do some pinch running.
And if you were at the game Tuesday or read the paper, you know Mr. Carmona's name because he scored the game winner against Aptos Tuesday in a pinch running role. So hoping the magic can happen again are the Wildcats.
Well, not to say that baseball coaches are superstitious, but baseball coaches are really superstitious.
Yes, they are.
Probably more than any other athletic group of coaches that I know of. Well, no, Warmerdam beat both Barrington and I as far as superstition was concerned.
Pitch fouled off by Gomez, but I don't even know if you could just stop at the player. I mean, at the coaches. The players are pretty darn superstitious, too.
Oh yeah. The great thing to do if you come to a baseball game, and sometimes the way the dugouts are situated, you can't always see inside. But watch all the rituals guys go through. Getting up to get their bat, to put their helmet on, it is almost lockstep each time they do it.
That ball was hit pretty well to center field, but he just got under it, so Weaver is there for the out. Gomez retired. Aptos 2 outs away from avenging their loss they suffered Tuesday. And judging by the color of the sky above us, they better do it quickly. It's gotten considerably darker here in the last 10 minutes.
It has gotten darker. We're at the
and it's not because the sun's setting.
No, it's not that way. Here's Valdivia. I believe he is the young grandson of a very good friend of mine and a tremendous umpire, Nate Valdivia, who was a fine athlete in his day at Watsonville High School. Nate's been umpiring since, I think I'm going to stop there because Nate knows where I live. So Nate's been doing some wonderful things for youth sports and adult sports for many, many years over in the Watsonville area. Not only a great baseball, softball umpire, but also a very fine established basketball official too.
Great to see the generations here. And local, one of the things that makes local sports so much fun is you start to see sons and grandsons. And this Valdivia Anthony, just a sophomore, hitting .414. He's behind 0-2 here. Takes a curve low that was close, but not close enough. Valdivia 1 for 3 on today's game. He singled and scored in the first. Grounded out to the first baseman in the second and flied out in the 5th, and he strikes out here for the second out, excuse me, of the 7th. And so it'll be up to the pitcher, Josh Camacho, to aid his own cause and extend this game. Watsonville now 1 out away from seeing their record drop to 4-6. Of course, they'll drop to 1-1 in league play. Aptos, on the other hand, came in 4-2, and of course 0-1 after that tough loss at Watsonville Tuesday. So Tom Graham looking for his first ever SCCAL win, and he's 2 strikes away as the count is 1-1 to Camacho.
Hey, before we bail out on this one, you drive out, Aptos High School's got a brand new track, that all-weather tartan track. It looks slick. A lot of money's gone into this athletic program at Aptos High School. Tremendous improvements here down on the baseball field. That beautiful track up there. I believe the SCCAL run their league meets up there this year. It's either there or SCCAL.
Yeah. Well, it's nice. Just to add to that, it's nice to see this stuff given all these cutbacks and, you know, threats of sports being eliminated and athletic directors' salaries eliminated and coaches' salaries eliminated. It's nice to have something positive to talk about when it comes to school and money. Camacho's going to keep this game alive with a bleeder down the line. Going to third without a throw, it'll be the pinch runner, Mike Carmona. So Watsonville was down to their last strike there, and Camacho fought one off his hands. And it's not how hard you hit it, Kurt. No. It's where you hit it, and he got that one to stay fair and away from all the defenders. So we've got runners at the corners for the cleanup man, Joel Hawley, and he's due, folks. He's 0 for 3. And of course, we told you he came in hitting .458, so
4 doubles and 8 RBIs. So, yep, I would say that the man is due.
There's one hammered into center field, right on cue. That's a gapper. 1 run will score. Camacho will be held up at third. A long single by Joel Hawley. And it's 7-4. Don't go away. We told you there's been some crazy rallies, and already there was one this year, as we told you in this first meeting between these teams. Watsonville was actually down 9-7 and then took the lead with a 3-run rally and then held on. So not a surprise to see Watsonville make some noise here. Now it's Bobby George, who's 1 for 3 with a home run, his last at bat. And Tom Graham's going to go out and talk to Chris Thompson, who was 1 strike away there, and Camacho stayed alive.
Have to be fighting. That's a great job by Camacho. You can see the battler in him. He stayed with it. The wind really now starts to pick up. Aptos hoping for the 3rd out, which would be nice for the Aptos Mariner fans. The sun to set or the heavens to open up. Any one of the 3 would be very acceptable to Coach Graham at this point in time.
And any 3 could happen as it does start to rain here.
Yeah, but we just had some people come into the overhang, and one of them soaked. So
George swings and misses at the first.
I love this weather gauge I have standing next to me. Only about 2.5 feet tall, with a nice jacket on, but it's wet, so I know that it's raining out there.
Yes, you can clearly see it where we are. Not sure if you can see it on the monitor, but they're going to play on here. George now down to his last strike as Thompson gets ahead, 0-2, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Aptos leads 7-4.
Well, here's where the pitcher really has to bear down, make sure he's got a dry piece of horsehide that he's going to launch in there. Pine tar is easy if you're a hitter. You just grip that thing. It's starting to blow pretty good. Bill Bunner, the home plate umpire, is going, come on.
Yeah, not only is it raining, it's windy too. The pitch, curveball, swung on and missed. He struck him out to end the game. Chris Thompson gets Bobby George on a nice looking curveball to put this one in the books. So Kurt Edwards, Aptos gets the revenge they sought. They lost a tough one Tuesday. They come back on their home field and get the 3-run victory here.
They get a fine job on that one. Thompson, who came in the 4th inning, comes out with the W, the first league win. toss-up as far as our player of the game is concerned. I'm going to tip my cap right now to Cliff Nelson, the left fielder for the Aptos Mariners, who was 2 for 3 on the day, a double, a single, 3 RBIs, none bigger than his 2-run RBI double in the bottom of the 4th inning to put Aptos out on top. But great ball game for both of these ball clubs, and Mother Nature couldn't have waited any longer, as it is really starting to rain out there.
Yeah, but as you see, Tom Graham doesn't care. He's still making his young men run their post-game sprints, as you see there on the wide shot.
You can run in the rain.
You certainly can, and I know there was someone else you thought maybe was player of the game worthy for Aptos.
The other one was young Mr. Thompson, who
Yes.
came in and pitched the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, battled through the elements a little bit, coming up with a big strikeout all the way through, holding Watsonville scoreless in the 4th and 5th, and just doing a good job battling all the way too. And Thompson didn't have a good job at the plate, but did a fine job on the mound.
And Kurt, as we've talked about throughout this broadcast, it seemed like every time we looked at the Aptos stat sheet, someone on that lineup had hit a home run and it had contributed offensively, and we saw that here today. Strickland reached twice, got an RBI. Ramsey hit the big home run to give him some insurance. Latorre hit the ball hard, got a single, his first at-bat. Jones had an RBI and a run scored with a sac fly and a double. Just up and down the lineup. Ortega scored a run, reached base a couple of times. Keenan got the double there in the last inning to finally get on the board, and he scored. So it's just an impressive Aptos team, as we say, and they get the win to even it up. So that's going to do it for our season opener here on the Comcast Game of the Week. Once again, Aptos gets the win at home just before the rain begins, 7-4. We'll see you next week, folks. Good night.
Putting a lot of work into things, the fruits of your labor.
High School.